Sarah, a young office worker, returning home late after a long shift, sat alone on the cracked bench beneath the flickering fluorescent lights. Every few seconds, the lights buzzed, dimmed, and flared back to life, casting long, twitching shadows across the platform. The timetable board glitched, the digital numbers twisting and reforming into impossible times. 12:66, 000, 99:99. And every time she blinked, the sound of laughter drifted faintly through the empty air. Not the laughter of a person, but something muffled, strained, like someone pretending to laugh behind glass. At first, she thought she was imagining things. Then, she saw him. Standing on the opposite platform, perfectly still, was a mime. His face paint was cracked and aged, the white peeling like dried skin, and his black, painted eyes seemed too deep, too hollow. He wore an old-fashioned tuxedo that looked soaked from rain and grime, and in his gloved hands, he pretended to hold a balloon, invisible, yet floating eerily above his hand. Sarah frowned. There were no performers at this station, no audience, no reason for him to be there at 12:30 a.m. She tried to look away, but when her gaze returned, the mime was closer, standing right at the edge of the opposite track, staring straight at her, smiling with his painted grin. The lights flickered again. Pop. A bulb went out. When it came back on, he was gone. Sarah exhaled shakily, clutching her bag, convincing herself she was just tired, that maybe it was a trick of her mind. Then, a faint squeak, like the sound of rubber soles on tile. She turned. The mime was now standing on her platform, 20 feet away, still holding his invisible balloon, his expression frozen in joy. But his eyes were alive, cold, watching her. "Hey," she shouted, though her voice cracked. "What are you doing here?" He tilted his head, then slowly raised his hand and pressed it against an invisible wall, tracing its outline with exaggerated motion. Sarah's breath caught. It was like he was building an invisible box around her, gesture by gesture, wall by wall. She stepped back. Her phone vibrated. A new notification. She looked down. It was a photo of her, taken just now from across the platform. She spun around, heart pounding, but there was no one behind her. When she looked up again, the mime was gone. Then came the laughter again, closer this time, whispering in her ear. She turned and screamed. He stood inches away, face painted in cracked white, mouth stretched too wide, showing black gums beneath. His gloved hand slowly reached out, pretending to pull an invisible rope, and as he tugged, she felt pressure tighten around her throat. She clawed at nothing, no rope, no hand, yet something was choking her. She stumbled backward, gasping, falling onto the bench, as the lights above began to strobe wildly. The announcement system crackled to life. Last train. Delayed. Delayed. Delay. Delayed. Until it distorted into a screech. She ran for the waiting room, slammed the door, and locked it, trembling. The glass walls around her rattled from the wind. She looked out. Nothing. Silence. Just the echo of dripping water. She backed up, breathing fast. Then, on the glass door, a single white-gloved hand pressed flat against it from outside. She screamed, backing into the far corner. He smiled through the glass, slowly, miming, turning an invisible key, and the real lock clicked. The door opened by itself. The mime walked in. He moved with slow, jerking grace, like a puppet being guided by invisible strings. Sarah threw a chair, but it hit nothing. It passed right through him. The mime mimed pulling an invisible rope again, and this time, the chair flew back, slamming into her ribs. She fell to the floor, wheezing. He crouched beside her, tilting his head curiously, then wiped one tear from her cheek, leaving a streak of white paint across her skin. He pointed to his mouth, then hers, then slowly mimed. Zip. Her voice vanished. She couldn't scream. Hours passed. The lights burned out, one by one. The first train arrived at dawn. The station was empty. No sign of Sarah. Only her phone on the bench, still recording a live video. The last frame showed the mime sitting on the bench where she had been, gently waving to the camera before pressing his palms to an invisible wall. Now, every night at 12:30, commuters waiting alone at that same station report seeing faint white handprints on the glass and hearing silent laughter echo through the speakers. Sometimes, when the lights flicker just right, a mime appears on the opposite platform, smiling, waiting for someone else to notice him. Because once you do, once you see him, he never stops performing for you, ever.